And what you're about to see is simply way cool. Folks, it's time to focus on business here on Great Day. We do this every week just to give you an idea of what the heck is going on in the area. We found a company over in Urbandale, Rapids Reproductions. Ryan Carswell is joining us, and you can see what he has sitting next to him here on the desk, and those are definitely Reproductions.
Yep, these are actually 3D parts. The Rapids Reproductions, I'll just give you a quick little overview. We've been around since 1952. Started in Cedar Rapids.
You've been 3D printing since 1952?
That's amazing.
Not 3D.
Wow. They were chiseling out of stone back then.
So 3D printing's been around for the last few years in our company. It has been around since the 80s, though. So
really?
Been around a lot longer than people think.
Right. So what did you guys do way back at the beginning of your company?
We started as a blueprint company. So we print blueprints, and we still do a lot of that today. We work with architects and engineers and do blueprint printing. Anything large format, we can print it, and even small format too. So we're a print shop that does a little bit of everything. We've got a flatbed printer in our Cedar Rapids office, so we can print up to 4 foot by 8 foot by 2 inches thick, which are...
I was going to say, would this be more the classic of what you've done in the past?
Yes, so that came off our flatbed printer, and that's actually a textured print. So if you want to feel that, you can actually feel the different layers, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, can you hear it?
So,
we just
for one thing, the color is absolutely amazing, but another to actually have it.
It feels like a chameleon.
Textured is incredible.
So we just reprint that layer over and over again, and it gives it a raised feel. So we can actually use this to print Braille.
Can you really?
Yep. So, and another thing, there's a slice of a tree there. So it's just a little substrate. Anything flat.
You can print on.
We can print on too. So
that is. How do you? Is that with ink on there, or use lasers? Or
yep. It's just a UV ink, and so it's fully protected from the outdoor elements, and that's what we use for. We do a lot of job site signs for companies doing building and stuff like that too.
That is so cool. I didn't even know you could do something like that.
Yep.
All right, so we buried the lead. This stuff is mind-blowing, 3D printing. And tell us, I guess, how it works, how it happens.
So all these models right here came off of a powder-based machine. We call it color jet printing. We've got it's ProJet 660. It basically starts as like a drywall powder. It's a gypsum powder. And if you want to think of it, there's a printer bed, and a layer of powder comes across about the thickness of a sheet of paper, and then a print head moves over it just like your standard desktop printer and lays down the ink, which is colored, and that acts like the glue.
Okay.
So it comes across, hits anything that's supposed to be there with that color, and then the print bed drops, another layer of powder comes across, and it's just a repetitive process.
So it just stacks it on top.
So this would actually be building down, and when the print was finished, it'd be submerged in a bed of powder. Then we go in.
Oh, okay, I get you.
You extract this part. This would be filled with powder. You would dump that out, and then you can clean it up.
Got it.
So.
All right.
And you can even print moving parts.
Yeah. So this is a bearing, printed in one piece. So anything that wasn't hid around the bearings was just left as powder. So when it was done, you go in, pull it out, shake it out, and that's what frees up the moving parts.
And it's a working bearing then?
Yep. I wouldn't use that in your car, but...
No, but still, you know, just for application purposes and in the future, it's going to get more and more specialized.
And there are parts out there that are SLS and SLA plastics. I mean, you can do test use parts now. So we actually just picked up another 3D company. So we represent 3D Systems and a...
Here we go. There you go. Mouse and a mouse. Look at that.
So why were these particular things printed in 3D? Like, what were they used
So something like this, your big shoe companies, Nike, they're using this to print prototypes. They physically print out their ideas.
They want to see it.
And put it in front of a panel and say, what do you think?
This is what it's going to be, rather than a drawing.
Exactly.
And it's easier to do that as opposed to physically construct a shoe.
But this is a technology that is being used and will be used to mass produce things. Right?
Oh yeah, yep.
It's just
and like I said, in the manufacturing world right now, it's huge. I mean, they can print parts for their equipment that they have in house that they would normally have to, if something broke down, they'd have to order the part, wait for it to come in. They can now print some of those.
Well, you were
parts.
talking about how you do blueprints for buildings, and you can now physically probably print
Yep. So
a building as opposed to a blueprint. Here's what it's going to look like.
So the proposal idea for architects, you know, instead of presenting a 2D rendering on a piece of paper, if we have the correct files, a lot of people are already starting to design in 3D, so we can then turn that into
And
a
print in 3D.
physical
So they
model.
can see exactly what it looks like. Now, the bottom line here is, all right, so say you have something like that, even something as simple as maybe you have a chair that you did over here.
Yep.
Okay, you have a little lounge chair, and you show that to some company's building this chair, this outdoor chair. How much would it cost to have you build that for them? Say, I want a chair to show to some prospective buyer. How much would it cost me to build that chair?
Sure, and that's a good question. Pricing right now is kind of hard to just ballpark it because it's just based on materials actually used in this part. So we've got a software, when we get the files, and for anybody designing in 3D, that's an STL file or a VRML file.
Okay.
We can actually plug that file into our software. It tells us how long it's going to take, how much material is going to be used, and then we can go ahead and figure out the price from there.
Can you tell us how much that one costs for that chair?
Something like this, you might be looking at $10, $15.
Jeez, that's cheap.
You know, but something like this, depending on thickness, like I said, this is a solid base, so that's a lot of material usage. You might be looking at $500, $600 for a bigger model like that. So.
Okay.
And how long of a process is it to build a shoe?
Sure.
For example, how long did it take to build a shoe?
So something like this, you might be looking at 6 hours or something. It all depends on your Z-axis because it just has, like I said, make passes.
The layers, how many passes it goes through.
Yep. So like I said, our file would actually rip this down into layers, and it would actually tell you how many layers there are in this shoe, which I'm not exactly sure on that. But
That's
unreal.
fascinating.
Now, is this something only companies can take advantage of, or if people are interested in having something printed, they can come over to the
So
company?
we sell the equipment. We actually have the equipment too. So we're acting as a service bureau as well.
Okay.
So we do some 3D printing in-house, and that all comes out of our Cedar Rapids office. So.
All right.
That is very cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All
Thanks
right,
for
here we
coming.
go. Rapids Reproductions, Inc., rapidsrepro.com. Really cool company, but you do have an office in Urbandale as well, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Great to meet
Nice
you, man.
to meet you.
Thanks for
for
bringing all
having
this
me
really
in this
cool stuff
morning.
over. I have never
Appreciate
seen
it.
this before. This is awesome, and an actual working bearing. That is so cool.